Never fear, everyone. It's a Sunday, and the milkman is here after actually seeing the dairy dealer. And please take a moment to read this disclaimer. I am not a professional investor. I'm not an investment advisor. Neither is anybody that's going to be appearing on this show. Please read this. Please take everything we say with a grain of salt. Now that there's been enough time for this, we're going to take this down. Today's going to be an interesting episode. I have defended Apple for a very long time. I am thoroughly annoyed as a shareholder, and I don't know if I should blame Tevis for showing me this last night or if I should blame Apple for actually making this a product. Before I get into the rant, we're going to bring somebody on who is laughing backstage because he knows what's about to happen. Mr. Matt Money. How are you, Matt? I think Maddie is on a phone call. In fact, I'm willing to bet Maddie is on a phone call. So we will wait for Matt to get back, and I'm going to bring a few things up. This is an impromptu stream. Maddie and I were on the phone before, and I told him about this, and he couldn't believe it. So we decided, you know what? We should just do a freaking stream about it and discuss it. Let me bring this stupid product up. And I got to say, before I do that, I want to show everybody my track record on Apple. There's been a lot of people that have flip-flopped, gone bearish on Apple. This is where I'm coming from on good old Apple. I've written probably, I don't know how many articles on Apple. I follow this company extremely closely, okay? I started writing articles about Apple in 2018, okay? I have been super bullish throughout everything that they've done, throughout everything that they have been criticized for, the lack of growth on revenue, the failed car division, the Vision Pro, pretty much everything, okay? Recently, I went to neutral because in September, I was no longer bullish, but I certainly wasn't bearish. I was just neutral because I felt that there was more opportunities in other Mag 7 stocks, such as Alphabet. And I wanted to see Apple get back to their core and deliver great products that disrupted the industry. That's no longer the case. Apple's not delivering products. This is what they're delivering. And I apologize. I needed to go get coffee, so I couldn't have everything ready. So just give me a moment to actually find this in my history. So normally, this is the company. This is the company that brought you the iPod. This is the company that brought you the iPhone. This is the company that started a services business out of nowhere and is now on a 100 billion plus run rate. This is a company that redefined personal computing and built an entire ecosystem where legions of Apple fans buy a new iPhone every September, regardless if they need it or not. And this is what we get. A sock for an iPhone. The iPhone Pocket, a beautiful way to wear and carry iPhone. I'm thoroughly annoyed as a shareholder. Like, I am really freaking annoyed. I wouldn't have been as annoyed if this was like $29.99. I wouldn't have cared. No, wouldn't have cared. The fact that this cost, wait for it, the short strap is $149.95. And the long strap design is $229.95. I gotta tell you, this is like the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. Am I exiting my position? No. But look, I'm not happy at all. And I don't know if it's because they haven't come up with anything groundbreaking recently, and this is what they put out. And I get it, holiday season, thought it may be a good idea. Maybe this was a joke that just caught traction inside. Who knows? Who knows? I got news for everybody. Put your phone in your pocket or put it in your purse. Crazy idea. Do we really need to be carrying our iPhones on our side with something that looks like this? Is this what we're going to expect from Apple? I mean, seriously. Like, I'm at a loss for words at this point. I really am. You know, when I look at Apple, this is one of the most amazing companies, one of the most important companies. I could never see myself giving up my iPhone. I could never see myself giving up my iPad. Do I use a Mac computer? Absolutely not. But if there comes a time, and I dislike the Android operating system with a passion, but if there comes a time where Alphabet's assistant can do everything I need it to do with just talking to it, and it improves my life and it creates efficiency, I will get rid of my iPhone and switch. Now, this is a shot. Not a shot, but man, how about we focus on Siri? How about we focus on making Siri better? How about we freaking focus on the core of what made Apple great and focus on products? I don't get it. I don't understand where we are on this. They completely missed the entire business landscape. They do not have a cloud division. Sure, they have cloud storage for pictures and that type of stuff. Okay, great. But they don't have a business division. They don't have an ecosystem built around Office or the Google Suite. They don't have a cloud service division for generative AI and hosting. They really don't have an AI game. They freaking basically said, we're going to pawn this off on Alphabet at this point. It's just crazy. They're so far behind. I'm really annoyed. They're so far behind the curve. And when we look at the financials, they have one of the best sets of financials out there. Maddie, if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to come on, because I feel like you're still on the phone. You know what, guys? Give me 1 second. I'm just going to text Matt and let him know just to give me a thumbs up or text when he's ready, because I still think he's on the phone. Just give me 1 sec. Matt, if you have the stream on, thumbs up or look at your phone and text me, whatever you want to do when you're ready. So, I mean, in the trailing 12, Apple's at 416 billion in revenue. But look, in 2022 fiscal year, 394, 2023 decline, 383, and then 2024 fiscal year, 391 billion. No growth over those years. And yes, there's growth this year, but not much. And this is what a lot of people have been complaining about. And I've defended Apple, saying that they're one of the best ecosystems, if not the best ecosystem. They are one of the most important product companies of our lifetime. They have a loyal fan base, which will continue to buy their products, and they generate a ton of profitability, and they buy back a ridiculous amount of shares. 195 billion in gross profit, operating income of 133 billion dollars. There's maybe one or two companies that generate the same levels or just a little bit more in operating income, and that's Alphabet and Microsoft. Their net income, $112 billion. They're generating more than $2 billion a week in profitability. Simple math, right? 52 weeks in a year, 112 billion. 52 times 2 is 104. So this is a company that's doing over $2 billion a week in net income. That's insanity. Yet they're putting out a freaking sock for an iPhone. I'm sorry, but it's annoying. And then I look at their cash flow statement. And I'm going to go back on a lot of things that I've said in the past. I'm now thoroughly annoyed at what they've allocated toward CapEx. I'm thoroughly annoyed because this is a company that since the 2021 fiscal year has generated over $100 billion in cash from operations each year. Yet they're barely spending on CapEx. Barely spending on it. I mean, I really thought the Vision Pro was a good idea, but they botched it. The car division they should have never really gotten into. But I just, look, this is not the same company as when Steve Jobs was running it, obviously. But this is crazy. They're so far behind the curve. When you look at what Alphabet and Microsoft are doing, they're so far behind the curve that this is just thoroughly annoying. Now, where they've earned a lot of goodwill from the market, no company has done what they've done in buybacks. I'll make this extended a little bit more, but in 2016, hold on, they bought back just over 31 billion worth of shares. Then 34 billion in 2017, 75 billion in 2018, 70 billion, 76 billion. Then you get a big jump, 92.5 billion, 95.5 billion, 83 billion. Then you get 100 billion in buybacks. I mean, they're manufacturing EPS. And these were the years, 2022, 2023, and 2024, where you had no growth. But their EPS grew because they were manufacturing earnings through all the buybacks. My fear is that I overlooked a very basic thing about their innovation. And I looked at this from just a numbers basis and looked at the growing EPS and the fact that they bought back a ton of shares and was able to manufacture earnings growth in an environment where their revenue wasn't growing. And I think that that overshadowed how little of innovation they've been doing. I mean, has anybody really seen any innovation with their iPhone or their tablet? I sure as hell haven't. I just, and the fact that they could have bought Tesla and owned Tesla for pennies on the dollar and potentially had Elon Musk run this freaking company instead of going down that crazy project with their vehicle division. The fact that they did not get in the cloud, this is just straight up annoying me at this point. Because where's the innovation going to come from? The fact that they made basically a helmet with the Vision Pro, it needs to be form factor glasses. It cannot be some big thing that is on your head that you want to take off after 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, these other companies are coming for Apple. They're coming for freaking Apple, and I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because this was one of the greatest companies and still is one of the greatest companies. But, Maddie, are you good?
Steve, you think you're better than me?
Well, I was trying to figure out when you were good because I saw you were on the phone.
Every day I try to make deals. The person on the other line was like, Tell me everything you know about Stephen Fiorillo. I said, you mean the milkman?
Did
And
I
so I had
drink
to
out
give
of
him
a
your
Seeking Alpha
biography.
cup? Do you have a Seeking Alpha cup, Matt?
Seeking Alpha doesn't give a shit about me, Stephen.
I don't know if you heard my rant or not, but I just ranted for 15 minutes about Apple.
I heard a little bit of it because I put my headphones on, um, but I heard you say it was the best company of all time, and you believe in their path forward with this fanny pack phone holder.
Should we blame Tevis or should we blame Tim Cook? Who should we blame right now?
I mean, I always blame Tevis because he just because I can,
I
it's easy.
mean, I wish he didn't show me this last night. I really freaking wish he didn't show me this last night. I'm still hot. I lost sleep last night. I mean,
I don't know if I'd lose sleep. Hopefully, you didn't actually lose sleep.
oh, I think I freaking lost sleep last night because I was actually angry that I think I've been looking at Apple incorrectly at this place at this point. I really do. I really do.
The thing that is unfair to me, and this is coming from a place of ignorance, right? So, I've been wrong on Apple for over a decade. So I'll just put that out there, right? Like, no way this could be $1 trillion. No way it could be 2 trillion. No way it could be 3 trillion, right? So, um, to me, I've always been on the wrong side of Apple. And the thing that confuses me most is, yes, I get it. The iPhone is probably the most, if not the most dominant product that's ever been built, and is obviously a multi-trillion dollar um, revenue generating piece of product that has generated hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of value at this point for the company. The thing that kind of boggles my mind a little bit is like, how is Apple's staying power with this continuing to go well when it seems like there are some things that I don't know, it's difficult. They've come out with other things that have obviously been supplemental to the ecosystem of Apple that continues to keep people in, that continues to generate more and more revenue for the company. But nothing at this point is moving the dial, and I don't know if it's just because the iPhone product is so large that anything that you do looks minuscule in comparison because you're talking about the best-selling product of all time and adding auxiliary products, which obviously aren't going to overtake Apple's iPhone as an example as the main product. So to me, it's just been a little bit interesting, but it seems like they're so focused on services, right? And if you were so focused on services, I feel like they could do such a better job of upselling a little bit. Like they obviously do a phenomenal job of growing services. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they have an opportunity, I think, to garner more of a market share of, say, the cloud, of so many different avenues that I feel like they're just willing to keep their current status quo, if that makes sense, and not really rock the boat. They're kind of going with like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But in reality, that catches up with people, right? You can do that for a couple of years, like, oh, let's just churn out, but eventually you have to innovate and do something that's new, that's driving. And I feel like they're not doing what the likes of Amazon or Alphabet or even some of these other technology companies are doing, and they're going to eventually fall behind. That they can't just rely on the sale of iPhone um, forever. And eventually, unless they innovate something completely different, which they have innovated it, right? I'm not saying that they're not, adding new products but anyway, it just seems like everybody else is moving into the 21st century, and iPhone is kind of still stuck in like 2015, 2016 a little bit
But
compared to
Matt, they are
everybody else.
innovating.
Are you gonna pull up the fanny pack?
They're innovating. This is their innovation. I'm disgusted.
Uh, So you have this data better than anybody. I mean, everyone else in the Mag 7 is exploding capital expenditure. Where is Apple in on that journey? Are they still focused primarily on the just normal status quo, or are they actually increasing capex as well?
Well, Matt,
And let me put
I'm,
my
I'm
Logitech.
glad you asked that, sir, because I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to build it out real time and show you how freaking far behind they are. Oh, Apple, you break my heart.
Did the mic quality change at all, or not really?
For who? Me or you?
For me, I just turned on.
You sound fine to me.
Okay. Was that? What does it? Did it change at all compared to where it was like 20 seconds ago, or no?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I just turned. I have a back end mic adjuster, and so maybe it won't make a difference if it's better than 20 seconds ago. Okay, yeah, thank you. Steve only has it playing through his speakers. I don't think he actually has headphones or anything on.
No, why would I use headphones?
Because to be a real podcaster, you need to be able to hear things.
I can hear things just fine. God, this is so depressing what I'm doing. Oh my God. This is so depressing.
Wait, is it really called the iSock, or is that I'm beneficial just creating a great fucking name for it?
If it is not called the iSock, I mean, they should freaking give you royalty rights at this point. The iSock. All right, Matt. I'm just formatting this. All right. I am getting everything in dollars. And I'm going to show you where good old Apple is on CapEx, sir. And I don't know if you can handle the truth.
Never can,
chart it
Stu.
up. What chart are we going to do? I mean, we'll let everybody decide what chart we want to look at this as. Nothing fancy, nothing pretty. Gritty. It's gritty, but that's where Apple is over 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, and the trailing 12, which is actually their fiscal year. So over a 6-year period, Apple hasn't even spent. I mean, let me do it over here because I think it will not mess this chart up. If I do it like, yeah, it won't. Okay. So over a 6-year period, Apple has spent $62 billion on CapEx. Meta, $192 billion. Alphabet, $240. Microsoft, $200, and Amazon, $421. Now, keep in mind, Amazon is going to be more because they have the logistical network with shipping and everything that the others don't. Be that as it may, Apple should be in lockstep with at least Meta and Microsoft. Like, what do you even say to this? Maddie, what are your thoughts on this? I think Matt's mic went out.
No, it's not. I'm just thinking how to word it. I mean, it's all about return on invested capital, right? And if you're not investing capital, you're not going to get returns. So, to me, this just goes back to what I was saying about lack of innovation and lack of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that what Alphabet is doing or what Amazon is doing is 100% correct. I think that there's going to be inefficiencies with investing that much capital, right? There's bound to be inefficiencies when you're investing over $100 billion a year, right? things are just going to go to the wayside. I mean, you're overcapitalizing in some areas. There's bound to be, but when you're undercapitalizing and you're trying to grow, you either have to have two things. You either need to make your previous software, etc., more efficient and grow your operating margins at a substantial rate to be able to continue to grow that return on invested capital, or you need to innovate and create new products. And I just don't think that where Apple's at in terms of continuing to invest is showing up. And I think they need to invest more. I don't know. I'm very yeah. I've been thinking this for quite some time, but like I stated, they've obviously proven me wrong for many years. So I don't know.
So I'm going to be clear that I'm not exiting my position. I still think Apple's an amazing company, and I don't think people are getting rid of the iPhone or the iPad are going to stop the services. And there's a few things I want to discuss. I'm going to go back to something Matt said about services real quick. So I have not updated my metrics yet because I have not written my Q4 article for Apple. Maybe I'll do that today with how pissed off I am. Maybe that'll be my freaking rant for Seeking Alpha for my Tuesday article. So I need to write an article today. But without looking at Q4, services is amazing. And I had said back in 2018 that in 2025 it would be a 100 billion run rate business. And it turned out to be so based on the trajectory and the way that I built it out. Now, this is absolutely incredible. But I have to question how much of this services is truly innovation versus people just wanting certain things, because it seems like services is the same old stuff. And if they were really serious about services, okay, Warner Brothers Discovery was trading at such a low valuation. The amount of freaking buybacks that they do on a quarterly basis, they could have acquired Warner Brothers Discovery last year for probably 30 billion, 1/4 of buybacks. Taken a blue chip asset off of the field, laughed at Netflix, laughed at Amazon, taking it off cable because Apple does not need to generate additional profitability from it and throw it right in Apple services on Apple TV. They would have gained Warner Brothers Studio. They would have gained the HBO assets, Food Network. They would have gained so many things. I truly think that that's what they should have done, is buy that. And I've said this many times, they should have bought freaking Manchester United, public company. They should have bought the Knicks and the Rangers, public companies. They could have bought the freaking Braves and start buying sports teams and putting all their games strictly on Apple TV and build that out to a competitor to legacy cable. They had the capital. They wasted a lot of capital on stupid projects, so they should have done that. Obviously, they didn't. So I don't know where they go from here, but services is a great business, but they have not introduced a new hardware product in quite some time that has taken off. And I don't know what the next product is going to be because they freaking did not hit the mark with Vision Pro.
Yeah, no, I agree. And maybe it takes time. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it's getting trajectory, right? Like, I think about it this way. I think people looked at Meta when they dropped Threads and they were like, okay, this is bullshit business. But it's actually generating and growing pretty expansively versus the Vision Pro has not been bueno. I don't know. This doesn't seem like I don't know.
And people are saying in the chat, dumb idea, Manchester United balance sheet sucks. It's Apple. It doesn't matter what the balance sheets are of those companies. Like, Apple generates over $100 billion in profit. They could have bought these assets. It's an investment for their future on services. Because look at what Amazon is doing and look what Netflix is doing with live sports. They're getting in the game. If Apple wants Apple TV to be truly competitive, and if they want to keep producing shows, buying Warner Brothers Discovery gives you Warner Brothers Studios. It gives you all the employees. It gives you the ability to make everything at top tier quality. Gives you a library of assets. The live sports gives you a foothold into those fan bases. It gives you rights to the merchandise, and it takes those assets off the board and it disrupts the landscape. It screws over traditional cable, and it takes the fight to Amazon Prime and to Netflix.
Yeah, I think that Apple is onto something with their Apple TV. I know a lot of people that are very excited about a lot of the shows that are on there. And I feel like they need to double down. They need to do something that's comparable to what Amazon is doing. They need to buy MGM. They need to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and I think you stated specifically as something that was very genius. HBO is a supreme brand with a lot of IP that has decades, if not almost a century of, with inclusive of the Warner Brother brand, a lot of things that go back in time. And owning that IP, is beautiful, right? I mean, so to me, with the purchase power of an Apple, I could see one of two things that would really cement them into the 21st century, and that is buying buying all of Disney, which I think is plausible, and or buying Warner Brothers. And I think Warner Brothers, like you stated, I think is a much cheaper option. But you think about Disney and the brands over at Disney. I mean, you're talking about all the Fox brands that have been acquired over the past 5 years. You're talking about so many different brands that have been acquired by Disney. You're talking a profitable streaming with Disney Plus. You're talking countless IP. You're talking amusement parks. You're talking. So, I mean, maybe they don't want to necessarily deal with that amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Work. But, I mean, overall, you need to move the dial some way, shape, or form. So
here's where I'm at with Disney. The only way that I would be happy with a Disney acquisition would be if they bought Disney to dismantle it and spun out parks into its own thing, spun out cruises into its own thing, spun out certain other aspects into its own things, and only kept the media assets. Because I don't think that they have the bandwidth to do parks or that type of stuff. But for the IP, abso-freaking-lutely. You gain freaking Marvel, you gain LucasArts, you gain the Disney brands, which I'll argue the old school Disney brands will not be relevant in the next 10 to 20 years. But the newer ones, I think Frozen is there and these other things that kids love, great assets. I don't think Mickey Mouse and those characters are going to be that relevant in the future. But I think Disney has a treasure trove of assets that they could throw right into Apple TV, including all the cable networks that you said.
Disagree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how old your nephew is, but my nieces and nephews still watch
He
Disney
doesn't watch anything Disney.
Well, maybe I'm biased as well then. But my nieces and nephews, they watch. I mean, yeah, they watch Paw Patrol and stuff like that. But the Mickey Mouses and stuff of the world are still extremely relevant.
They may be. They very well may be.
And yeah, like I remember going on vacation with them. There were still, I mean, yes, they like the Mandalorian and things like that, which I still need to watch, by the way. But I still haven't watched it, which is a crime on its own front. But the brands that Disney have, I think, are undervalued. Now, if you were to say like Peter Pan and what's the word, like Goofy and stuff like that, then maybe. But I'd still think that Mickey Mouse is something that's still relatively relevant in today's society.
I want to show you something.
But you're right. Maybe in 10 years, 20 years, it might be. I mean, I'm just talking about today.
When I see what him and his friends are into, they watch all the stuff on YouTube. They're not into Disney at all. They watch all the stuff on YouTube, and I don't know. He's not into Disney stuff though.
I get it.
Do you care about EBITDA or cash from operations more? Which one?
I care about cash from operations more.
I need to sort a different way. So this is going to blow your minds. Okay. As a man of the numbers, and you caring about cash from operations more, what would you say if I told you that good old Apple was falling behind on cash from operations?
I wonder why, Steven. Maybe it's because they're not investing.
Now, EBITDA, they're actually in third place from Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Nvidia, and Broadcom. Okay. They're actually in third place with EBITDA. But
EBITDA is bad. Sorry.
What?
Nothing. It's a joke.
What's bad?
From a movie. It's a movie.
What's bad?
People, they were like, "How's the EBITDA?" And the guy has no idea what EBITDA means. He's like, "EBITDA is bad."
Okay.
But he has no idea what it means.
So the fact that Apple's cash from operations, and here's where I start to get a little annoyed. Okay. And this is not beneficial for me to say, but does the market cap really make sense here at $4 trillion doing $111 billion in cash from operations when Amazon is a 2.5 trillion, Microsoft is 3.7, and Alphabet is 3.3 trillion, yet the three of them produce more cash from operations? I mean, you look what Alphabet's been doing. They've been dumping a ton of money into CapEx. They've been building things out. Nobody thought the Google Cloud was going to be able to compete with Azure and AWS, yet it's been able to compete. And look at their cash from operations, what's happening. And you look at CapEx in the TTM, Apple's CapEx is 12.7 billion. Look at these other ones. There's a reason that they are not freaking growing, and they're trying to sell an ISOC as how eloquently Matt put it. Granted, I know it's a item that's only in 8 stores or whatever. Who cares? The fact that it's even on the website's annoying.
Yeah, I don't. So it's not necessarily about having 111. Like the price to cash flow from operations of 38 doesn't bother me. What bothers me though is the fact that you showed a very eloquent chart, I believe, of maybe it was cash flow from operations over time, or maybe it was EBITDA over time, or whatever. It's not growing to the extent where it warrants a price to cash flow from operations. If you were to tell me a Google is at a price to cash flow from operations of 38 or whatever, it still wouldn't make me that happy because I know they're not growing that much in terms of warranting a price to cash flow from operations of 38. But the fact that Apple is trading at this without having a massive growth of cash flow from operations at all means that people are just owning the stock because they see how much buybacks are going. And I know what that's like. People like buybacks. I get it. But it's about investing through the cycle, right? At some point, and this is where it gets important, at some point, yes, for 4 or 5, maybe even 10 years, you can buy back stock and artificially inflate your earnings per share. But eventually, consumer mindset changes. A lot of different things change throughout the world. And if you're not following along with times and investing through the cycle, you're going to be left behind. And I feel like that Apple, unless they come out with something innovative, unless they come out with something revolutionary, or acquire somebody that is doing something like that, then they're going to hit a plateau. Even if they were to buy a Disney, even if they were to buy, that's just a short-term crutch. They need to create something of their own that's going to continue to grow. And maybe like you stated, maybe selling off for parts and becoming an M&A arm of Disney or something like that, and selling off the cruise lines or licensing the cruise lines out to Carnival or to whomever is the way to go, that they can increase their margins on that and reduce their liability and their capital expenditure. I don't have the answer, but what I do know is that they can't do this for another 10 years. They can't just buy back stock for another 10 years unless they're growing or have the ability to grow their bottom line. eventually it's going to catch up with them. Because unless like people look at AutoZone, right? AutoZone's a perfect example of what buybacks can do for you. But over the past 20, 25 years, AutoZone's bottom line has grown by 6x. So while they bought back 85% of the shares outstanding, their bottom line has also increased by 6x. So that's why the stock price has gone up 50x overall. So unless you get to a point where, you get to a point where Apple's actually innovating again, I think in the next 10 years they're in trouble.
Off topic, Rambler. I would love to own a pizza shop. I will put together a business plan for a pizza shop, and I will do a whole episode on that one night just for you. Anyway, back to the craziness about Apple. I agree with you, Matt. I absolutely agree with you. I don't know that they can continue doing this for the next decade, like you said. You're very right. And I am a big person on buybacks. I truly believe that they are beneficial to companies, but not at the expense of not securing their future. And you're right. And you've said this for a long time. You have to innovate. There has to be a fine line between the two. And when you are putting, Apple is here, 96.67 billion in buybacks and 15.4 billion in dividends in a single year, but your capex is 12 billion. I got an idea. How about, crazy idea, let's just scale the buybacks down to 80 billion. Let's just scale it down to 80 billion. Is anybody going to cry over 80 billion versus 96 billion in buybacks? No. Take that other 16 billion and freaking do something with it. Or scale the buybacks down to 60 billion and take 36, 37 billion extra and either make some acquisitions or put in the cloud or try to do something with AI. As a shareholder, I would much rather see them take some chances with some of this capital than just buying back their shares, because they will get left in the dust over the next decade potentially.
And this is where executive compensation, and this is not just an Apple problem, right? This is a legitimate problem across all companies. When you have a tenure of, say, 4 to 5 years as a CEO, and you have, let's say, however many billions of dollars coming in cash flow, and let's just say your target is to grow EPS by X over the next however many years, there's two sides of that equation. You can either grow total earnings for the company, which is difficult to do, or you could buy back stock, very easy to do. And so it goes back to executive compensation on what are you being rewarded for? Are you being rewarded for growing earnings per share, which then you have two ways to go about it, buy back stock or grow total earnings? Or are you being rewarded for growing total earnings of the company? And I believe that a lot of times what ends up happening is in these executive compensation bills or agreements that the board provides with the CEO and the executive management, it's very much EPS based, because everything is about the stockholders and keeping the stockholders happy, etc. And so, unfortunately, I think what ends up being, they'd rather take the easy route and say, you know what, I can guarantee if I buy back this much stock and I don't rock the boat and everything like that, I'll meet my objectives, get my pay package, and be able to, leave in a golden parachute when something happens. And hey, I already made my $100 million. I'm good. I'm done. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Versus the innovative and the people that are actually going to have their names written down in history are the ones that are actually going to try to grow the actual earnings of the company, not just the EPS. And there's two ways to grow buybacks, which is pretty funny. You could either just increase the amount that you spend on buybacks, or you can keep the percentage that you're using. Like, I personally think that a percentage based of buybacks is better. I'd rather keep buybacks at, let's just say, of 30-40% of all your cash flow from operations and grow your total earnings than just use buybacks to the greatest extent like Apple is doing right now, where they're spending about $100 billion a year in buybacks and growing EPS that way. Because eventually when your cash flow from operations starts to shrink, like it will if they don't do something in the next 5 to 10 years, then you're going to get stuck. And next thing you know, you're going to have to shrink your buybacks, and your EPS is going to slow down, and all. So it's going to have a very long cascading effect. Versus if you're continuously investing in your business and innovating and changing with times, eventually over the 5 to 10 year time period, you'll be able to outpace the total buybacks overall. So I don't know. I think it's a very interesting way to think about it. But I think a lot of times we're too quarterly focused, which is why I get bothered sometimes by earnings reports. Is like everyone thinks it's like the Super Bowl every time. It's like you can't have 4 Super Bowls a year, like, is it fun? Yes. But I think so many people put quarterly earnings. It's like, and I think Jeff Bezos does a really good job of stating this as well, is like everything that's in that quarterly earnings report has been done 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it's just showing up now. So why are people so focused on the quarterly EPS and et cetera, when they really should be focusing on what is the company doing to put themselves in a better place 5 to 10 years from now? Now, I could see if you're a swing trader or something like that, then what I'm saying is more so irrelevant. But for somebody like myself who's thinking about what companies can I have in my ownership, what companies do I want to own that will be able to be staples in my portfolio that I can literally just set and forget and know that they were on the right trajectory. And that's how I've started to think about this, because I don't think about, oh, let me just get my quick win and sell it and pay a shit ton in capital gains, etc. I think about what companies do I think are going to actually make a huge difference and grow over time. What are the future Microsofts? What are the future, other big companies, the Googles of the world that are, going to continue to innovate and move with the times that I'll never have to worry about. And if I need to borrow money to pay for bills or something, I have the ability to borrow it, and I don't have to worry about wholesaling it or selling at a peak or something like that. Like I think that's such a poor mentality, both from like a financial education perspective and just also like hey, what's the fastest way I can make my money and get rid of it as fast as possible and come out with the highest ROI. Like I think that's just a very, I don't know. I want to take more of a Japanese approach to business, which that might be too far out in time. That might be like a 50-year time horizon, which is probably too long. But I'd rather step in that world than what I think a lot of people on YouTube and X and retail investors focus on, which is like, ooh, what can I buy this quarter that's going to moon next quarter? It's like, to me, that doesn't matter. I'm over that. I understand where people are coming from, but to me, that's just a very short-term focused mindset.
Well, think about this, okay? What does Apple prioritize versus everybody else? OpenAI launched ChatGPT in late 2022. Microsoft integrated ChatGPT into Bing, Office, everything else. Alphabet pushed Gemini, Meta pushed Llama, and AI features across Instagram and WhatsApp. I mean, those are all things that were basically transformational for their companies. And what's Apple doing? Face ID, camera processing, spam detection, handwriting recognition powered by Neural Engine, and Siri, which has been stagnated. Like, what have they done that's groundbreaking or that's benefited their company other than buybacks over the past couple of years, where the companies that are their competitors are going all in on AI? It just doesn't make sense.
You're not wrong, Steven.
I'm fed up. That's all there is. I'm fed up.
Sell it all, Steven.
No, look, I'm annoyed. It's just, and I'm not saying that I can run the company better than Tim Cook. Obviously, I can't. Okay, but let's be honest. I'm just,
You don't know that.
No, I'm just some guy that does research and has an opinion like everybody else. But the numbers are the numbers, right? They're just not growing the way the other companies are growing. Their cash from operations is stagnated. They're not pumping out the cash from operations that other companies are pumping out. And it is clearly because they're not allocating enough to CapEx and taking chances, period.
No excuses, play like a champion, Steven.
I don't know. It's annoying because I'm so bullish on, like, their ecosystem and their products. And I just don't think that there's any other company that can do the same thing. Like, I've tried to use Android. I have tried. It sucks compared to iOS. But once again, that's just my opinion. A lot of people love Android and hate iOS.
You're not wrong, Steven. Never have been.
I'm wrong quite a bit, man. Quite a bit I'm wrong. But that's the rant. The Apple suck really annoyed me. And I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why they allowed that on the website. It just, they're under such scrutiny for not keeping up with everybody else that when you put something out like that, you have to think that hardcore Apple investors and people who really follow the company and have been waiting for their breakthrough stuff are going to get annoyed.
So what point do you sell, Steven?
Just saying.
What point are you selling?
I'm not. Unless it gets really bad, how do you sell Apple? Every time people have said just sell Apple, what happens? It just goes up. Like, they make too much money to really consider exiting, because at any point, and I've always said this, don't bet against a company that generates $100 billion in profit. Like, they know what they're doing better than almost anybody else. How can you bet against a company that does that? You know what I mean?
I feel that, but it's worked for them to an extent, but that was when they were also investing in themselves. I would encourage you to look at how much of their earnings over the past decade or maybe 20 years was going into capital expenditure versus versus their total cash flow. And I guarantee it's shrunk to historic levels, low levels, meaning. Versus, and I'm not saying that Amazon, what they need to do is what like Amazon and Alphabet are doing, right? Where they're trying to spend like 90% or 80% of their total cash flow. I think that there's a balance, right? And I think it'd be probably wiser of some of these companies to, I don't want to say slow down 50% or something like that, but I feel like that there will be eventually a time where, unless the earnings that they're generating is going to explode massively and they're going to be able to continue to grow the amount of capex.
I'm loosely, and I show these numbers a lot because I truly think that they paint a good picture, and they're not these. Let's be very clear. These are not my numbers here. This is just my table. Okay. These are what the street are expecting the EPS to be in 25, 26, and 27 for these companies. But Apple, with 21% EPS growth over the next 2 fiscal years and trading at 30 times 2027 earnings, versus Microsoft, that has 38% EPS growth, which is almost double Apple's, trading at 23 times. Microsoft looks a lot more attractive at $5.10 than Apple does at $2.72.
But the thing is, there's a huge difference, Stephen. You're focusing on EPS, and EPS is being manipulated under Apple because they're buying back more stock than anybody else out there.
I get it.
And the problem is, if you look at total earnings growth, that's what's more important to me, is the growth of cash flow from operations overall. And because if you're too
I can build that out for you if you want.
I mean, I'm not saying you need to do it here, but I think it's going to tell a completely different story on what the valuation growth of the company. Because if you look at Microsoft's EPS growth, overall earnings growth on what it looks like instead of just earnings growth, like you're going to see, because right now it looks like Apple's not that far behind. They're growing 21%. If you remove the EPS of that and just do earnings, then Apple's going to look like dog shit for the past 5 years.
You're 100% correct. And that's why when I say these numbers, This 21% factors in 100 billion of buybacks every year. Like, and they're still only 21% compared to Microsoft's 38%. So it really should not be trading at a higher valuation than Microsoft. And that's my point. Like, Microsoft looks so much more attractive at these levels than Apple.
Then you have Meta.
Dude, I have a full position on Meta. If Meta gets down to 550, I will up the allocation and start buying again.
And that's the Star Buccaneer put a good point. It's like $100 billion. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could have bought a Disney, you could have bought an X, you could have bought a Y, and actually grown the earnings per share underlying for the company. But instead, like, if you think about it, if your return on invested capital is 20%, go find other shit, or 20, 30, 40%. I don't know. Go find other shit that you can invest in. Because if you think about it, if your return on invested capital is really that good, then you could have bought or invested $100 billion worth of something that could actually generate you a crap ton of money. But instead, they're just focusing on God knows what.
It's just annoying. That's all there is to it. It's just freaking annoying.
You think about it, investing $100 billion in a company that you get 20% return on capital, that's going to do $20 billion in bottom line growth. But instead, you're buying back stock, which is growing EPS. Yeah, so it's still doing the same thing in terms of EPS growth. But is it actually going to help you in the cash flow, growing cash flow? And the answer is no. And so I think we focus too much on EPS. I think we need to focus, and this is part of the problem, is I think so many times people think about on a quarterly number basis, they think about things on a per share basis. They need to focus more on the underlying company performance, right? They're too focused on a per share basis. What does this mean for my little piece of the pie? It's like, who gives a fuck about your little piece of the pie?
Whoa. I happen to like pie, Matt.
I do as well, but I think that there's too much focus on your little sliver, right? Like, you need to, and this is where I think it's important. It's like, if you're too focused on your little sliver of it, you might be able to, choose a slightly better sliver than somebody else. But if the whole pie is shit, if it's a shit pie, you don't want a piece of a shit pie. No offense. You'd rather have that blueberry with some vanilla ice cream on top, more specifically vanilla bean. Now we're talking. I know I'm getting your eyes. See, look at Steven. I see his eyes growing up.
I'm with you, man.
So I think that people need to stop focusing so much on hyper focusing on EPS, and they actually need to look at and that was the same thing with Palantir. So many people were hyper focused on they're losing earnings per share. It's like, well, if you look at the trajectory, you could tell that they were going to be printing cash in the future. Now, is it worth $500 billion? Probably ahead of itself. But at least at the same time, what people were saying was going to zero. It's not, the company's not going to zero. That's part of the joke, right? Everyone was like, Palantir's going bankrupt. Yep, stock's going to zero, right? Same thing with Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab's going bankrupt. Yep, going to zero. Well, guess fucking what? It hasn't. That's been part of the joke. People always like, I don't understand. Matt's a pain in the ass. He says it's like you have these conversations where it's like people are so hyper focused they can't see the forest of the trees. Sorry, I had it.
No, listen, Cook, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, sir. I'm going to show you something that I'm going to show you something that's going to be pretty interesting. I just need a moment. Why did that happen like that? Hold on. This is annoying because Apple and Microsoft do not report on a freaking calendar year. So it's going to be a little skewed. But I should probably I wonder if I can graph this up. Hold on. How am I going to graph this? No, that didn't work. All right, we're not going to build a graph. We don't need to be visual today with anything else.
See, Steven, I don't even know why I come on these things. I've actually lost subscribers being on this show today.
What do you mean?
I just checked. I've lost a
No,
subscriber
you
today.
did. Stop it.
I haven't. I went from 17,864 to 863.
Please go and subscribe to Matt.
It's why I don't even come on. That's why I don't even come on these channels, Steven. I lose.
I think Matt's pulling my chain, but if you're not,
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up.
No, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. If you're not following Matt, please go follow Matt. He makes great content.
Yes. I think I'm lying.
Hold on.
Look.
Hold on.
Yesterday, I had 864. You're not even showing it.
Give me a sec.
Look, 864 yesterday. I come on today. I can start dropping this massive knowledge. 863.
Massive knowledge.
But you know what it is, Steven? I think people just don't like me, Steven. I think that's what it is.
No,
they come on to see the milkman. They don't come on to see Mad
Listen,
Money.
Here's where you're right. Okay. And I just did a different way. This is revenue. Okay. And this is cash from operations. Apple's freaking big expansion was into 2021. But look at this. 51% over the TTM to 2020 fiscal year. Okay. Microsoft's is 97% growth. And here's the crazy part. Think about this from a margin aspect. Apple's doing $416 billion in revenue and generating $111 billion in cash from ops. Microsoft is a straight line up, whereas Apple is just floundering around. And Microsoft has basically a 50% cash from operations margin. How crazy is that? And they've grown their cash from ops by 91%. I mean, what do you even say about these numbers? Like, this is Microsoft. It looks like such a great buy. I may have to buy it this week. I don't own it. It's the one Mag 7 stock I don't own. I need to own it. It looks like you're gaining subscribers, sir. Everybody's saying they're subscribing right now.
It's not showing up in the bottom line, Steven.
It'll show up in the bottom line.
I'm not at 25,000 yet, you know. But I'm curious if you were to do Meta and Google on this.
You want me to throw Meta and Google in here?
Yeah. Are you manually doing this, or are you just pulling?
Yes, I'm manually doing this. Think I am a piker?
I thought you were a high class individual that figured out the way to get this done through AI or something.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't trust it. And everybody's like, how do you write so many articles? Because I freaking do a ton of research. Like, I don't use AI or any of that shit because I don't trust it yet. You know what I mean? I don't trust it to make my life easier with this.
I feel that.
Like, when I put this stuff together, I want it to be correct. You know
yeah, sometimes I've done it before where sometimes the numbers that they pull are just wrong.
I mean, you look at, I'm still sharing, right? I'm doing this live. Look at Alphabet. Look at Alphabet. That's crazy.
Okay, we'll do it live.
And we're going to do margins also. So.
You know, Steven, I get like 3 phone calls a day that are like random phone numbers. Like, I don't know who these people are. And when I pick up, they ask me WWSFD, and I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, oh, San Francisco? I'm like, no, not San Francisco. Stephen Fiorillo. What would Stephen Fiorillo do? That's what people ask me.
Ridiculous. Nobody in their right mind asked that. And you know it.
I had you going for a second there. Like, where's Matt going with this?
No, I knew you were going to say something like that. Because you always say shit like that. God, Meta's cash from operations is so disgusting.
I know, it's insane. I'm upset I didn't buy that instead of Google and Amazon. Steven, I hate to say this, but I bought Meta instead of going all in, not all in, but big into Google and Amazon in 2020, 2022. I'd probably be somewhere where there is an internet. I'd probably be like, Matt will be back on social media in 2027 because that's when his island finally gets. Granted, I know there's Starlink, but just because I want to, I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm just making shit up.
Let's try and make this a little bigger for everybody, and let's go through this. So this is revenue. We'll shade it up, try and make it look a little pretty.
I'm just trying to help you out for your future articles, Steven.
Well, I'm going to write a freaking article about Apple now. When we're done, it's happening, everyone. I'm that angry. The Apple article is going to freaking come out.
What are you going to do with this anger, Steven?
I'm going to channel. I'm going to go downstairs and hit the heavy bag. I'm actually angry.
Can't believe you actually lost sleep.
I mean, I don't know if I really lost sleep, but it was thoroughly annoying. You know what I mean? But look at this. I mean, you have Meta growing their cash mops or their revenue by 120%. Apple, and if we take 2020 out of it and we just do 2021 forward, the numbers are going to be way worse because there was a huge jump for Apple then. Huge jump. But we'll keep it in there. But look at the cash from operations growth. 38% for Apple, 91% for Microsoft, 132% for Alphabet, 177% for Meta. And then you look at the margins, Apple's margin in the TTM is almost 27% for cash from operations out of revenue. Microsoft and Meta are over 50%. Alphabet's at 40%. And it's because Apple's not freaking innovating.
Yeah, and I think I'm just looking. I mean, if you remove 2020 for Apple, on a lot of these, it looks a lot worse too.
Yeah, let's do that. You ready?
No bueno, Steven. Compared to everyone else, right?
Yeah, gets a lot worse. If only this can anticipate what I'm doing from freaking doing it. That's not true.
Steven, I'd have to say you might have messed up there.
Yeah, I may have. Just a little.
Steven. Poor Steven.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It gets a lot freaking worse.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can understand the trajectory from 2015 to 2020 and 2021. I get that. But really, the last 4 to 5 years for Apple has strictly been buybacks.
Dougie Dallas. How do you not call putting a phone in a sock is not innovative? No one else thought to do that. Dougie, I don't know. You're right. No one else thought to put a phone in a sock.
You think one of their there's like that Swedish or like Nordic Olympic thing where they swing that, not a discus, but you know what I mean. There's like an Olympic sport where like they're swinging something that's like you think that that's where they got the idea? Like, what if we put the phone in that? No?
I don't know, Matt. These numbers are so annoying that I had to take my, I have two pens that I keep on top of my sound bar that my nephew got me. And depending on what mood I'm in, dictates which one I write with. It's a light side and a dark side Star Wars pen. Today I'm writing with the freaking dark side because of the mood I'm in.
I bet you are. Steven, so what are you buying other than this shitty Apple company?
Microsoft may be the next play, actually.
So let me ask you a serious question, Steven. And I'm not, I'm just hypothetical, right? I'm not
hypothetical. Okay.
Do you think that with what is going on right now at Apple, do you think in the next 2 to 3 years it's going to be more of the same? It's going to be maybe 5 to 10% overall earnings growth, and really the EPS growth is what you're chasing after in terms of earnings per share. And at what point do you think that the market's really going to realize that Apple is not doing what it needs to, and they're going to shrink the PE from currently 40, where it is today, to a 25, and you're going to lose about 33% of the value?
I don't think they will. Apple's become too much of a staple in too many portfolios. Too much money flows into it. The products are in everybody's hands. And the narrative that is not incorrect about they have, what is it? Freaking, how many devices are out there? 2 trillion devices or something like that? That may be wrong. 2 billion devices? I don't know. Let's ask. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. How many devices does Apple have out there? Because I've heard the number. I just can't recall it.
Quadrillion.
I'm asking you how many devices are in the Apple ecosystem globally. I want to say that I've heard 2 trillion, but that could be wrong. Yeah. All right. Apple itself gave a clean public number in early 2025, 2.53 billion plus active Apple devices worldwide, according to Tim Cook. Yeah, billion, I'm sorry. So 2.5 to 2.6 billion active devices. When you think about that, the only other company right now that I know, now I didn't ask for Alphabet, but Alphabet because of Android, and then Meta with the family of apps, they have the most people utilizing their product. So if you have 2.3, 2.4 billion people with a device that you can upsell them on with services, and they're getting a cut of everything they're downloading, it's hard to get bearish on that. I think the real question is, at what point do they just stay at this valuation and everybody else get a bigger valuation? And I think that's coming. I just don't know that the market's going to chop Apple down, because once again, how do you bet against a company that does 100 billion in freaking profit?
But if you're not actively managing it, that's, I think, where I'm coming from, is like,
I'm with you.
If you're not effectively monetizing it, like what are they doing to grow the revenue per customer? What are they doing to grow?
It's so annoying. They could have bought Anthropic. Think about that. With all this capital, is 1 year of buybacks, or trapping the buybacks and just taking 30 billion a year and making acquisitions with it. And I know it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and talk about what they should have done. But Matt, let me ask you this. Would you have been mad if they had bought Anthropic 2 years ago and then Warner Brothers last year and spent 30 billion on each and did 60 billion in buybacks instead of 90 billion?
No. Because I wouldn't, then I would have zero shit to talk about Apple, about how they're not. It's like, okay, well, they're trying to innovate through acquisition, which maybe you could say that that's bad. They have to go out of house rather than do it in house. But like, I think that that's a minute detail comparatively to having an actual fundamental issue with the underlying company of they're not innovating. Like the iSock, as Benny put it, like, is that really the innovation that we're looking for? I don't know. I don't know. And why? I don't know. I just they have zero cloud business. That's a lie. I mean, they have a very negligible cloud business comparatively to the rest.
Well, no,
Um,
let's redefine that. They have a consumer-facing cloud business.
yeah.
They don't have a business-facing cloud business.
I mean, let's just maybe Grok can help me. I mean, maybe I'm being too pessimistic. And like I stated, I have been on the wrong side of this trade for over 10 years, right? And Apple has proven me wrong year after year. And like you stated, it's easy for me to have armchair quarterback, on a Monday morning quarterback, etc. What innovative products is Apple working on at the moment? Let's see what Grok has to say about this.
I actually really like ChatGPT a lot more than Grok now. I've never used it, so I paid for a subscription the other day so I could try it. It is, to me, so much better than Grok. And I thought Grok was awesome until I started using Gemini. And Gemini I thought was really good. But I got to tell you, I'm really liking the thinking mode on ChatGPT 5.1. It's really good.
So this is the current pipeline. Smart glasses, 2026, 2027. Lightweight design, an everyday AR rival to Meta. Satellite features like iPhone connectivity using satellites. That's 2026. That's Global Star. That's what some of the products that Rocket Lab has been working on. You have new AirPods Neural, which is like health AI wearables. That's supposed to be launch window 2026, 2027. Smart home, seamless home automation. That's late 25, early 26, apparently. AirTag 2, 3 times the range, anti-stalking, enhanced ecosystem. That's late 2025. The M5 Mac displays. And then low-cost Mac. How does that sound to you, Stephen? Versus what innovative
I can't believe you just said
products?
that's a 10D.
What's that?
I can't believe you just said that's a 10D.
So what?
Nothing.
What are you talking about?
You just said that's a 10D, that's a 10X, no? I could have swore that's what you just said.
I don't think so. Is Alphabet. Alphabet's current innovative product line. Gemini 3, Alpha Evolve, which is AI coding agent. Project Astra. And Sima 2, which is apparently multimodal AI and robot brains. Android XR, so wearables. VO 3.1 and Flow, which is generative video tools. Willow, the quantum chip. Waymo expansion. Autonomous vehicles going into new cities like Atlanta and London. Actively in Phoenix and San Francisco. 30% ride growth in Q3. Moonshot spinouts, so Tara and Heritable Agriculture. I don't know what those are. Wireless network, global connectivity, agricultural tech. Crop breeding. Terra deployment. So what's Terra? Terra uses wireless optical tech for internet connectivity in remote areas. Heritable applies some machine learning to accelerate crop breeding for climate resilient agriculture. Stephen, the rebuttal?
Listen, the rebuttal is Apple is not freaking innovative. Period. Full stop. I mean, look, I don't know if you read it. Last night, I put out my thing that I said I was going to put out that we are not in an AI bubble. A lot of people responding to it. I think it was 2,200 words or so that I wrote on freaking X. I just put the link in here. But I went through some of the stuff that Alphabet is doing. I'm going to read through some of it. All right? Just give me a sec.
Read to me like I'm 12, Steven.
I'll read to you like the grown man that you are, Matt. Not like you're 12. I don't talk in baby talk. So, Google search, we all know, is freaking crazy. It's not dying. It did 56.6 billion. Okay. But Google Cloud revenue went to 15.2 billion, increased 34% year over year. In a division that they said would never work because why would you compete against Azure and AWS?
Why would you do that, Steven?
Why would they do that? Well, because cloud operating margin expanded to 23.7%, and their cloud backlog grew 46% quarter over quarter and 82% year over year to 155 billion. Now check this out.
I'm checking.
Gemini models are processing 7 billion tokens per month. The Gemini app has over 650 million active users on a monthly basis. The company is processing over 1.3 trillion quarterly tokens. AI mode has over 75 million daily active users in the US. AI overviews has scaled to over 2 billion users.
2 billion.
2 billion. Check this out. Gemini Enterprise has secured 2 million subscribers across 700 companies. But hey, this whole AI thing's a joke, right?
Some say it's a joke, Steven.
Some say it's a joke. Some say it's a joke.
What say you?
Listen. Some say it's a joke.
You know what's not a joke, Steven?
Milk and cookies?
Well, not only milk and cookies, but you having almost 11,000 subscribers within 2 weeks of starting your YouTube channel.
Do I really? It hasn't even been 2 months.
Has it only been? I feel like it's been way less than 2 months.
It's been 5 weeks.
Has it really? I'm getting old. I guess that's true. I like me going to the UK. I feel like I missed a week.
You going to the UK has aged you, sir.
It has me.
It has aged you. You're on the freaking tea and crumpets.
That tea and crumpets, man. It's like drinking tea. Your brain stops working.
As long as you're drinking English breakfast tea, I'm good with it.
Some say the EBT, English breakfast tea, is the way to go.
English breakfast tea is delicious, by the way. Delicious.
Did I think I told you this. Google Cloud is the reason why I invested in Google. You know that, right?
I do know that, yes.
That and initially, actually, the 7% ownership in SpaceX. I was like, what do you mean? Like, these guys are growing their cloud platform revenue by how much? And it's not profitable yet? And they own 7% of SpaceX? I was like, this is something I can get onto, right? Like, because like everybody, everyone assumes search is going to zero. Like, you know, it's going to be useless. And so in 2020, I was just like, why don't I own Google? Like, this is stupid at this point. I was very focused on dividends at the time. And I was like, this is awesome and everything. But, you know, what am I going to do? I think it was like I was that year or something like that. I was on track to make like $35,000 in dividends.
You see what this guy's saying?
Dude, he's a man of taste. If anybody knows fashion, it's Ahmed. It's definitely not me. Hey, man, I'm wearing a Carhartt t-shirt.
Don't disrespect Carhartt, okay? They make some great stuff. Don't disrespect them.
Am I still in Bros? Yes, I'm still in Bros. You would know that if you followed the channel. But you don't, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Steven, what look at you. You're giving Jeff Bezos a run for his money. Look at those guns. Got yoked over here.
Dude, I haven't worked out in years.
I'm afraid. Your biceps are the size of my head.
They're not. I'm not big. I used to be jacked. I'm not jacked anymore.
Steven is straight. Yo, tell us the order this morning, Steven. Did you run through the order? Did I miss that in the first 10 minutes while I
No,
was on
you
the
run
phone?
through the order.
You got to go through. You pull up the phone. Read us the
No,
text
no.
message. Read us the text message, Steven. You got to. This is why the people are here. This is why the people are here.
All right.
You're gonna get like you want to get branded. Like I swear to Christ, when like a year from now, Steven's gonna sell out, and the first 5 minutes of his stream is gonna just be all dairy products.
So I'm just making sure that there's nothing in this because I want to actually show what I get texted back. So there's no phone number here or anything, but this is the personal text thread between myself and the dairy dealer. And I actually get text messages back with
You're
little
saying that you're curling 75 pounds. That's disrespectful. Steven, he uses the Olympic bar and puts 45 pounds on that.
I actually get text messages back with little cows. You can't really see it, but the order this morning, and I texted him last night, was 4 little things of half and half, 1 glass whole milk, drinkable blueberry pomegranate yogurt,
Oh,
actual coconut yogurt to eat, and then peach yogurt to eat.
how is there coconut? Is it like artificial
really good.
flavoring, or is it like do you get little chunks of coconut in there?
It's really good, and my wife is so awesome. She didn't even wake me up, and she went and got it for me this morning because of how
Steven,
late.
how do you say spoiled in New Jersey?
Pretty easy. You don't because I'm not in New Jersey.
I always forget that. I always forget that you're in the hood of New York.
But yes, freaking dairy dealer was on point. It's delicious.
What else are people saying?
It's a
Steven, do you have a smoker? No, you don't have a smoker, right?
No.
That's something you said you wanted to get.
No. I wouldn't mind getting a Traeger.
Steven, this is the year. What would you what does Steven want? Like if you were to get a Traeger, like what's the first thing? Like what's the thing that you've been jonesing to?
In all seriousness, I would like to experiment with the different types of woods, the apple wood, the cherry wood, and really come out with which one I like to use and go from there.
Steven, let me blow your mind here.
Oh boy.
Have you ever seen this chart? It's a chart that I live by.
I don't know.
Oh, why is it being weird? Okay, here you go. You ever seen this?
I'm a little scared. The best woods for smoking. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, hickory is when I had when I used a charcoal grill, I would always get hickory wood chips for it.
Mm.
But I just don't have the time anymore. I need to find the time and I need to do it. But yes, I love this. This is great. You need to send this to me.
It's true though. Like it makes a difference. So I've never done a full brisket because the one that I had was small, but I did a point, which is like the fattier side. And Jesus Christ, Steven.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched those shows? They're not on anymore, but those big barbecue championship shows with like Myron Nelson and all those guys?
No.
They used to be on the Food Network or Destination America, one of those two. It was insanity. Hold on, I gotta go to the guy's website. I feel like it's Marvin Myron or something. Hold on, Marvin Myron BBQ.
I didn't realize oak was so
Yeah,
versatile. But it now
Myron
makes
Mixon.
sense.
That's his freaking name.
Yeah, oak is definitely very versatile. I've done mesquite. I've done hickory. Cherry I've done specifically for pork. It
This
turned out
guy's got
beautiful.
restaurants now.
Steven, we got to go.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, hold on a sec.
I like, so not that it matters to you, Steven, but Traeger
Dude, hold
Performance
on. No, no,
One.
no. You guys see this?
I'm waiting to see.
I want to take a trip to his freaking restaurant now. Jesus. Oh, and he's got pictures on X. All right, this is freaking great. All right.
Bring Jesus into this.
So I apologize in advance to everybody that I'm about to make very hungry. Okay. I apologize, but I'm not sorry.
You're not
Sorry.
sorry.
That's how I did that.
Don't ever say you're sorry. Sorry
Matt,
implements that you were in the wrong, Steven. You're not in the wrong here.
Are you ready for what this guy's freaking smokers look like?
I'm ready.
I don't know if you can handle this.
Probably not.
This guy is a world-class champion. Okay. These are his freaking smokers that you can buy. So we're going to go to X. I mean, these shows were so interesting because they actually showed you what they were injecting into it and everything. Really freaking crazy.
Oh, what kind of drop top is that, Steven? Chevelle? What is that?
I mean,
ooh, smoking ribs is a good time, Steven. Smoking ribs is a good time.
Oh my God. Like, in all seriousness, like, come on.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. He's not putting grapes and shit in the smoker.
No, Matt, he legitimately, this is what he does. The guy's won so many freaking championships for this stuff.
I think people are unzipping their pants.
Now I'm getting hungry.
You know what, Steven? You're inspiring me. Maybe I need to go to Lowe's today. And during the one hurricane that we had, maybe it was when the tornadoes and stuff came through. Water got like all up in the electronics of my smoker, and it's dumb on my part, right? I should have covered the smoker, and I never did. So that's my fault. But yeah, because what I'll end up doing is I'll like smoke it, take everything off the smoker, and then just like go upstairs to my computer because my office is on the second floor, and then I'll just leave the smoker uncovered like an idiot. But so yeah, unfortunately, and it was one of those cheaper smokers anyway, so it was like a Walmart. It was a good one. It was a Pit Boss, but it wasn't like super high quality. So, but now I got some points through work that maybe I should go and replace my my smoker. I think you'd like it, Steven.
It sounds like I would. It definitely sounds like I would.
You could smoke some turkey, get a turkey breast, smoke her up, some pulled pork.
I don't know, Matt. Now I got to figure out what I want to do for lunch.
You know, Steven, everyone wants to know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm going to figure it out. You're going to tune into Alternative Asset Weekly tonight?
That's the hope, and I was telling you on the phone earlier, so the people need to know is that your boy Maddie's been slacking. I mean, oh, what's this, Steven?
Phasmatal Flames.
What are you releasing any to the public or what?
The new Charizard set.
It's I need to get involved. That's what I need to do.
I need to go to eBay right now.
See,
I've been
that's the
outbid on
thing.
things.
Are people on eBay actually selling things much cheaper? Like, am I a loser by not going on eBay?
No, but I mean, it's probably the easiest way to buy stuff.
I used to sell
Oh, and
shoes and
by the
stuff on
way,
eBay.
I want to plug something. So we're gonna plug something real quick, and then I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna do a little thought experiment. But let's plug this for friend of the channel, Ty Wilson, Chasing Cardboard. If you haven't seen this episode, okay, you should go watch it. If you haven't seen this episode, go watch it. This gentleman is selling his entire collection to purchase One Piece boxes as an investment. I'm going to link the video, Chasing Cardboard. We're going to link it here. Great episode. Ty Wilson is phenomenal. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. Love watching his content. He makes great videos. This gentleman made such a good argument for One Piece as an investment that I am now considering starting to acquire One Piece boxes in addition to Pokemon boxes.
I've Steven, what do you mean One Piece boxes?
One Piece, it's a new card game. One Piece. It's actually one of the biggest it's the third largest TCG right now. It's Pokemon, the Magic the Gathering, then One Piece.
See, Steven? Have you gotten when do they release the Chrome boxes, Steven?
Pre-order just happened. So I'm not sure when they're actually coming out, but I'm waiting to see what the price is. So my buddy, Judge Collector, who will be in the chat tonight for AAW, Alternative Asset Weekly, will let us know. I'll ask him to find out. He's probably at the shop right now. Jesus, what is wrong with these people?
What do you mean these people?
The people on eBay, they're out of their freaking minds.
What do you mean, you people, Steven?
These people selling these cards. So this is the Charizard. This isn't even the super crazy one to pull. This is the one with the coolest artwork. There's a gold one that is even more rare. This is going for, do we have anything with bids on it? Anything? Anything with bids? Not seeing anything with bids yet. 12, here we go. 26 bids. It's up to 740. 9 hours and 37 minutes left. What is going on here? I swear to God, if this was a PSA 10, this would probably be $4,000 or so at this point. This is getting crazy.
People are coming for you, Steven.
I actually think buying the Japanese version is an interesting play, and I may buy a Japanese PSA 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a PSA, that's different. So I think you're right. I think that's not a bad move.
But yeah, this is one of the
how much of the Japanese? How much of the PSAs? Or sorry, the Japanese going for right now?
So, give me one sec. They don't even have the gold one on here. I don't think that this is it. Maybe it is. We'll ask Alex tonight. Maybe that's the gold Charizard that's harder to pull. But they're saying raw, at least on TCG Player. Okay, over the past 2 days, 49 of this card is sold at an average price of $749, with the highest price being $1,400. What is wrong with people? There is so much stock being put into this, and I do think that this is going to be one of the top chase cards of the entire Mega Evolution series. People underestimated the Charizard out of Obsidian Flames and out of the subset. Name is escaping me. I ended up being right on those. And you asked about the Japanese version, so let's see.
When is Steven not right?
Dude, I'm wrong all the time. What are you talking about?
No, you're not. You're that guy.
It's a little cheaper on Japanese. But look, I have a theory that this is modern day art. Okay. I don't think people care about oil paintings anymore, or at least the younger generation. I don't think people care about that stuff. I think this is what people care about. And I think that this is going to be very big going forward.
Steven, what are you saying about oil? You cooking?
We may. Why not?
Steven's over here cooking.
You're a good role model, Matt. Good role model.
I think you just say that reality. I'm not.
You are. Oh, man.
Did Emmett leave to be fair, scare him off?
No, he was at the gym.
Was he? See, he speaking of good role models, man, he's I'm my diet is better if I did the gym, then I need to get back into the gym. But I am happy to say I'm walking a lot better. Things are moving along.
Good stuff.
Trying to be more like Steven,
You don't want to do that. All right. Well, one day, everybody will see Matt and I streaming GTA 6. At this point, it may not be till 2030, but I know it's crazy, but never fear. The milkman has an idea. And that idea is that I am considering getting an Xbox Game Pass for the computer and playing a full Major League season on MLB The Show live on YouTube.
Is there?
I don't know if anybody cares, but I kind of want to.
The show? That would be pretty dope.
The problem is it's such a long game that it's going to take so long to do. I have not played freaking Xbox in God knows how long.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, we'll see.
See, Steven, you're in trouble. Is that the boss? Is that the boss lady?
Phone's blowing up. Phone's blowing up.
Is it Chris Patel?
It is not Mr. Patel.
Is it AK Media?
I'm being told that I need to lose weight.
By whom?
Being told that I need to get healthy and lose weight.
By the boss lady?
Being told that I need to freaking lose weight.
Are you getting antagonized? What's going on over there?
Yeah, I'm getting antagonized and harassed by my boss.
Which boss? Work boss or home boss? Well,
so what are we doing for lunch? That's the real question.
Oh, I had a breakfast sandwich, so
yeah, I am a little jealous that you went out and I had a good breakfast. I had oatmeal.
You did. Tell people. Did the people know about your oatmeal?
Well, the oatmeal game is in check. It's good.
Oatmeal game is in check. Are you in trouble, Steven?
No, why?
I just assume you're always in trouble.
Thoughts on the UPC? Yeah, I would hold the UPC for 5 years or more.
Let's see.
I have the UPC, the ETB, and the booster. So.
Yeah. I need to get after it, man. Like, so serious question, Steven. So,
Yeah.
stay, say you, I think you know where I'm at in terms of my portfolio and everything like that.
Yeah, I have an
For,
idea.
yeah, you have an idea. For somebody like me, what would be your, do you think that buying a single booster box is too little? You think buying a case is probably, or is a case too much?
This is what I'm going to say to you. Okay, you have to do what is comfortable for you. Okay, now the reason why I have bought boxes is because when I do the research, they have outpaced S&P. Now, right now is a different period because the price to get in is so different. A lot of
Right.
that margin is already baked in. This is no longer a market where it's a race to the bottom. You can buy boxes for 105 or a case for 650, 660. Those days are done. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. But every series over a 3-year period has something that goes to over 1,000, and a lot of boxes go to 500, 600. So I think that it's an interesting proposal. I wouldn't go crazy, but I do think alternative assets are only going to get bigger. And when you look at Comic Con, you look at Collecticon, which Alex is going to talk about tonight. You look at what Michael Rubin is doing with Fanatics and Fanatics Fest, the National Sports Card Convention. There's more eyeballs. There's more capital coming in. Michael Rubin is trying desperately to 10x the hobby. There's more YouTube breaking. There's just so much demand for this stuff. And if you put everything together, just you buy booster box, right? The boosters, I think, are going to go up in value because we've never had a period where somebody, like, how many packs did Alex rip? Hold on. This will tell you exactly. I'm pretty sure he put it in text to me.
To give people perspective that are listening, sorry, this is like a preface for the show tonight. A booster bundle is like 6 cards or 6 packs. A booster box is like 36. So a case is then 6 times, was it 6 times 36?
6, yeah.
So what is that?
All
Like
right,
180, 200 packs, pretty much?
So Alex runs a pretty big rip and ship business. And he ripped over 2,000 packs of this new set this week. Okay. He's one person. There's a lot of people doing this on Whatnot. There's a lot of people doing it on YouTube, eBay Live, and Fanatics platform. Over time, it's a supply and demand thing. You have all these guys and gals that are ripping as a business. They're taking supply off the market. Eventually, there will be no more reprints of this, and people will continuously want to rip and chase these cards. So the idea is that in 5 years from now, these are going to be very expensive because they're collector's items. There's less of them on the market. And I have a theory that they're going to start printing less booster boxes and they're going to move more into blister packs and the cardboard packs of like 5 to 10 different packs for Target and Walmart, because Target and Walmart are getting bigger into the space, but they're not going to be selling boosters supposedly. And that should make boosters go up even more.
Because it's too expensive, I guess.
The price point's too expensive where they can put the other ones out there for 40 to 60 bucks.
So you're saying they're going to get more into the bundles than they are the boxes. Got it.
Yeah. So I can't answer you for your original question, but I do think that for you, and this is not for anybody else except for Matt, because we actually have discussed certain things and I know where his mind's at with this. I think if you buy one box per set that comes out or one case per set that comes out, I don't think it matters. I think at that point it becomes a space thing. Do you want to go get a storage unit like I did to put everything in? Because it starts to take up a lot of space at some point, right?
So like the way I'm looking at this, Steven, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If you're buying a box,
Yeah.
it's like a hobby. To me, if you're buying a case, it's a little bit more like an investment. It's still kind of like a hobby, but
I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, I bought Evolving Skies for $430. Everybody thought I was crazy, and it's going for 2,600 now.
well, the way I'm looking at it is just like buying a single box for 200, $250. It's not crazy for me, right? I'm
Right.
investing thousands of dollars a month into the market versus buying a box. If a box comes out then that's actually going to eat up into what my normal investment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
They just want to buy a box every 2 months or 3 months when the new set comes out.
yeah, I don't know, Steven.
I don't know. We'll see. I will tell you that Nostalgianomics is going to have a lot to say tonight.
I'm a listen. He's a smart cookie, man. I really like Alex a
Oh, he's
lot.
awesome. He's awesome.
Um, like I don't, I don't say that lightly. There's people that like I just get good aura from, and he's one of them.
Let me tell
Um,
you this. I texted him and I said, "Hey, I'm getting throttled, and one of the shops I deal with actually doesn't have any. My other buddy got me some. I asked him if I could get a box from him. He's like, yeah, no problem. I got to tell you, the way that, and I keep looking because I have the box that he shipped in over there, the way that he fucking packed this thing, I mean, he did some job packing this. I mean, really top notch. So,
he's running a business, man. The
I mean,
dude's
I
the dude
really
the dude
can't say enough.
is he's a
I buy
professional.
a good amount of shit on eBay. I will tell you the way that this guy packed this was incredible.
Interesting. Hey, man, he's running a business.
He's running. I mean, the numbers that he does is insane. And he says that he's a small person in the space.
Well, of course. I mean, not of course, but I mean, there's people out there that probably
He
deal
gets the
in.
business side of it so well, though, so well. You should start watching some videos though. Rudy, Alpha
Rudy.
Investments. You want to go down a freaking rabbit hole? Rudy is the rabbit hole you go down. All
Yeah,
right. Oh
Rudy's
my
an
God.
inspiration.
So I would love to get a 30. He'll never do it. I would love to speak to him for 30 minutes live. He is one of the most fascinating people. If there was 10 people that I could have a conversation with, he may be one of those 10. In all seriousness, what he has built, how he built it is just incredible.
See, that Rudy is definitely inspirational. It makes me think a lot about like if I were to actually take this seriously, how I would do it. And what do I mean by that is like if I were to actually use this as an investment, it goes back to something I was talking about with Doug the other day. It's like you almost want to grow something like a separate arm of your investment business of like doing something. And you obviously don't want to, if you're going to take on a risk, you kind of want to start small and grow it, like to an extent where make it where it's reasonable enough and then grow it. Right. And the way I look at it is like, would you start at buying a case and then you think about it, it's like, okay, over the course of 2 to 3 years, you would sell one or, you don't sell the case as a whole unless maybe it prints money and you're like, you know what? But to me, it would be something which I anticipate this is what Rudy has done to an extent, not, verbatim. He has his own business plan, but he'll buy cases and then over the course of however many years, you sell one or two of those boxes in a case. And then another couple of years down the road, you sell one more. And then eventually you're just sitting on remaining a box. You've paid for probably it a couple times over, and you're still sitting on a great investment that will only increase in value likely over the course of and that cash flow that you get from your other investments allows you to one either supplement buying more product and or allows you to pay yourself a little bit But I guess it all just depends on your business model and what you're trying to do. But then he also has the Patreon piece of it too, right? I mean,
Well, I mean,
right.
look, he has built a business where, and I can't play any of his videos, but if you just look at the thumbnails, these aren't clickbait. He really has all of those pallets in his warehouses. He is the largest independent distributor of cardboard. And he has been in the game so long and he has built such a crazy business. He has tens upon tens upon tens of millions of dollars in just idle products sitting in his warehouses, plural warehouses.
I'll never forget. You sent me a video the first time. You're like, because I asked you, like, obviously you've been talking
Right.
about Pokemon forever, right? And you sent me a video, and I'm like, I don't. I'm like, okay, Steve, like, whatever. This doesn't mean anything to me. I started doing a little bit of more like research, and then I'm like looking at the names. I'm going to TCG Player. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I started to finally like, you know what I mean? Because you just look at some of those photos, and you're like, it doesn't mean anything to me, right? Because you don't know what the hell it is. But
Oh
then I
yeah,
actually like started doing some research, and
this
I'm
one
like,
right here,
Jesus,
that's probably $2 million worth of product behind him, maybe $3 million worth of product behind him.
it's insane.
I mean, he's got cases of freaking evolving skies over there like it's nothing. It just what he has built is incredible. He's an authority in the space, and you can learn a lot by watching some of his videos. Now, if you want the short version of his videos, you watch Alex Nostalgianomics. His 12-minute videos are freaking gold for just learning about stuff. It's really good.
You're a good
Those
man,
idle
Steven.
products of his, they're investments. Like he buys pallets for himself as investments that he doesn't even try to sell to his Patreon. I mean, his Patreon is so ridiculous. Have you seen how many people are members?
Nah,
It's crazy.
no, insane, insane.
Yep.
Well,
Freaking
Steven,
Rudy.
well, what did you decide on? What did you and Boss Lady decide on for lunch?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you, Steven, I had Japanese last night. It wasn't bad. Something simple, just a decently, like a nicely made steak. Not a lot of steak, just nice enough. Some rice, you know, um, and some wasabi. It was good.
Sounds good.
Just simple. You don't need a lot.
Sounds good.
Good for the body.
All right, Maddie. What are you doing later?
You know what I've been slacking on, Steven? I've been slacking on
Seeking Alpha? I know. You should write an article.
I have been slacking on Seeking Alpha, but another thing I've been slacking on is getting some boxes that are in my living room into my garage. So my mom sent me a bunch of stuff because she downsized a little bit, and so she sent me some of like her old stuff that I grew up with, and I need to go through it all and see what I actually want to. Because this isn't going to be my permanent residence, right? I mean, as much as I would love to unpack and put everything up and stuff like that, you know how difficult it is to move. So I'm going to look for things like she sent me my dad's watch, which is obviously something I want to include. It's a nice little Burberry watch, nothing too crazy, but the sentimental value of it is more than worth more to me than the value of it, obviously. But small stuff like that. So I just need to go through and look through it all. And one of the cool things, I don't know if you're into this, but I know the ladies in here probably are. There's like in Christmas time, they have like the little villages, the Alpine villages.
The Apartment 56 stuff?
Yeah. She sent me that.
Used to be, and this is how crazy I am with this stuff, that used to be a big thing with the retired lists and everything, and now it's not.
What do you mean retired list?
Like back in the day, they would have a bunch of pieces for the different villages.
Oh, yeah,
and they would have a retired list and stop producing them. and then the
Yep.
retired pieces would go up in value.
But yeah, that was one of the things. Like one of the things that my mom always did for Christmas is she would set that up, and I'd love it. We'd have a little train, and it was awesome. So that was something. She was like, hey, "Your sisters don't want it." I was like, "Give it to me." You know. I don't have the space for it right now, but eventually, I hope when I move up, and I'll have a spot somewhere in the house to set it up every
I
holiday.
gotta try to find something to send you. I don't know if I have it on my phone.
But Steven, the people of the world want to know what would Steven Furula do? WWSD, FFD.
Well, I would definitely go get lunch and then tune into anything that Matt puts on his YouTube channel
I appreciate that.
and subscribe to Matt Money.
Steven, because you said that, I've gained 15 followers.
Listen, you should have way more than that.
Nah, I'm not as consistent as you in omitting them, so it's on me. I've had my channel for over 10 years, or like close to 10 years, I think, at this point. Actually, let me. Well, I don't want to just keep saying that because it's been so long. I say that like, oh, I've been doing YouTube for how long? I'm actually curious. My channel started off as a cigar channel, so let me see. What is the oldest video? My oldest video is me making. You want to hear me talk like really sheepish and really bad audio quality?
Not really.
Actually, this video's got 4,500 views.
Don't share.
February 22nd, 2017.
I just don't want to get copyrighted. That's the only reason.
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking at it. Yeah, February 22nd, 2017. And I'm sure there was videos before that, but it's actually a cool graphic. Let me show you the graphic.
Okay.
Let me take a snapshot. This is how cool this was. This is like if people want to get invested in like dividends and stuff like that, this is actually a really cool graphic. This is me actually.
I need to start doing dividend videos. Is what I need to start doing.
Hey man, there's definitely a niche, and you can get a little bit. I don't want to say lost, but you can definitely. What was I don't even know what was in the background that I'm sharing. Window, Chrome tab.
So while Matt's pulling that up, if everybody is interested in alternative assets in the card market, Alex and I will be live at 9:30 tonight on Alternative Asset Weekly. That was the graphic?
Yeah, this is the graphic. So I mean, this is 2017 numbers, right? But maybe I can go back and show some of the older numbers. But like, this was annual dividends, like $2,400. So that $2,400, 2017. So what is that? 8 years ago. So I was 26. So $2,000 a year in dividends at 26. Like that was pretty badass. Let me see if I have any other ones.
I know that you don't read my dividend series.
Who, me? I used to read it like religiously.
You ready for this? I gotta show you this chart. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen the chart. It's insane.
So I haven't updated it this week yet. This is the monthly income from that series on Seeking Alpha that I do. In October, I mean, look at this. Over a yearly basis, over the past 5 years, it's gone from 1694 to 3610 to 9962, 167.82, and then in October this year, 229.93 in dividend income. And that's just investing $100 every week into income producing assets. I'm going to continue this series for a very long time and continue to build this out. But the stream of income is starting to get very interesting. And I'm proving a point with it that you can start an income producing portfolio from the ground up on a budget and actually turn it into something that is significant over time.
Huge, Steven. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like this was my kind of comparable. This was like my whole portfolio. And when I was very dividend focused, like you'll see, like the dividend focus was going crazy. Like in 2019, I made like 8,900. 2020 was like 14,000. 2021 was like 22. And then 2021, like 2020, 2021, I was just like, I could see where it was going, right? I was just like, so for anybody that's listening, this is how maturity in your portfolio. It's not to say don't follow exactly what I'm doing, but listen to how I'm speaking, right? And figure out how it's appropriate for you to think about your portfolio. So I was seeing there, I was just like, okay, 2020, I was what, 5 years younger. So I was in my late 20s. And I was like, okay, so 14 grand. And I was like, the next year it was like going to be 25 or something like that. And so I was like, okay, I was like, if I keep going this pace, I was like, it'll be 25, then it'll be like 36. I was like, and then eventually it'll be like 48. And so I was like, I saw a couple years down the line with how much I was investing, dividend growth, etc. I was like, I'll be at $4,000 a month easily, like really quickly, because I was already halfway there. Like by 2014. I mean, you know how compounding works. Like, not only are you investing a lot, but then your 14 grand is being reinvested. And then the following year you're reinvesting, then you get a 6% dividend growth. Then you get, all the money that you're investing for the year. So I was just like doing some calculations, and I was like, this was the 2020, 2021 was kind of the pivot point for me, where I was like, I see where that's headed. And I was like, yeah, that could lead me to early retirement. Like, and I'd be happy with that. But in retrospect, like, I was like, I saw where that path was headed to me. And I was like, I can play a bigger game than that. I was like, I would in 10 years time, 20 years time, would I be okay taking my foot off the gas, knowing that I retired early through dividend investing, etc.? Or do I actually want to play the game of Monopoly and like actually see how far I can kind of push this? And because I started looking at it, I was like, okay, like, if I keep on this trajectory and I was like, or do I want to invest in cooler things like Palantirs of the world, the Googles of the world, the Rocket Labs of the world. And so you'll see a massive transformation on my channel from when I kind of started in 2016, 2017 to like now. But that real big pivot point was like 2020, 2021. It was actually when I moved back from Trinidad, where I was just like, I could keep going down this path, or I could actually like start to really make a difference and actually do something that's like magnitudes different. And so that's what I ended up doing. And it's been a lot of fun ever since, but it's just an interesting pivot of like recognition, because it was like easily I could have gone to 40 grand a year in dividends. And by now I'd probably be in the, I don't know how much, but a lot of dividend income. But I was like, you know what? That's kind of boring. Let me do something that's crazier.
Or you could just do both.
Yeah, now I've started to venture a little bit back into, this pays a decent dividend, and I'll get this. So I've done a little bit of moving back to that, like de-risking a little bit, because I've had a good amount of success with Palantir, Rocket Lab, and a few of the other things, where I'm like, this seems interesting. Like, this seems low risk. This seems like, so now I'm trying to get to a place where my baseline, like, I have a couple personal loans out to people that like I've gotten notarized and everything like that. And so that's paying for some of, small things here and there. But my hope is like, if I continue down that path, then eventually I'll have, car payments figured out. And it's like, well, no longer do I have to pay for a car, right? The car payments will be paid for through dividends or this, that, or the other, or, and that's kind of where I want to get to now, is kind of have my basic, stuff kind of taken care of. So.
I hear you. All right.
And everyone just asks me, like, WWSFD,
Well, it's time for lunch, and then I have to write an article. I got to do a few things, and then Alternative Asset Weekly. What do you got going on the rest of the day?
I'm just, like I said, I need to get off my rump and get the apartment cleaned a little bit. So if I can if I can get through like the 3 or 4 boxes that I have sitting by my front door, then that'll be a mission accomplished for me.
I like it.
I like it too.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. And everybody, please go follow Matt at Real Matt Money. Puts out some really great content, especially on a company called Rocket Money. And,
Rocket Money.
It's Rocket Lab. I just call it Rocket Money because I didn't invest in it, Matt did. But thank you for joining us on the Sunday. Really appreciate it. And
Thanks for having me.
enjoy the rest of the day and see everybody at 9:30 tonight for Alternative Asset Weekly. We're going to be going deep down the rabbit hole on the new Pokemon set, what Alex found at Collecticon, and a few other things.
Let me know what you get for lunch, Steven.
I got to figure it out, man. I don't know.
Let me know.
I'll let you know. Later, everyone.
Later up.